Surprise, surprise. Andor creator Tony Gilroy revealed that the show's mandate was to, quote, try to bring in an audience that may be Star Wars reluctant or Star Wars resistant, aka we need our new modern audience for Star Wars. I mean, you can't make this up. I mean, I'm so sick of this stuff, man. Why not just make something that would actually appeal to the audience you already have? And it's Star Wars. You know, the movie that was pretty much the biggest blockbuster of all time in 1970 and launched like one of the biggest franchises, if not the biggest franchise of all time. But no, they got to create, they want their Star Wars reluctant or Star Wars resistant fan base to watch Star Wars. He said this in a recent interview. He said they knew what we were going to do, and I think they very wisely and very badly want to open new lanes into this franchise. Why should it be just this one thing? There's so many opportunities in the franchise. It's never been just one thing. I feel like this is some kind of fake narrative that Lucasfilm has created around itself. I mean, we've had Knights of the Old Republic. We've had all of the EU stuff where they delved into different types of genres and stuff. So I don't really even understand what they're even talking about here. It doesn't really make any sense, but I think it's just a lie they tell themselves to justify this crap. But anyway, so our mandate was to make a new lane, try to bring an audience that may be Star Wars reluctant or Star Wars resistant, and try to do a really different kind of show for people who may not, and do a show that you didn't have to watch Star Wars to ever enjoy. Like, what? Why would you want to make a show, a Star Wars show, for people that have never watched Star Wars to enjoy? Why wouldn't you want to make a show, a Star Wars show that people like enjoy Star Wars to watch? Like, I would think that would be something that you would want to do before you made something that you were trying to bring in people that don't actually like Star Wars to enjoy. That's just like bizarre thinking, and just shows how just absolutely brain dead these people are over at Lucasfilm. Anyways, and Gilroy says, and they made an enormous gamble. Sure, I guess you could say it's a gamble. He says it's a huge gamble. Pissing money down the drain, I guess. I wouldn't call that a gamble. That's just idiocy. Anyways, he continues, he said, and they used the down payment, really, of the hardcore, passionate fans that you know are going to be there. Those people were really... And the Mandalorian really helps us. That's what gave us the muscle to go to swing as weird and far as we have. It's interesting because as soon as the show was released, he has changed his tune completely because the hardcore passionate fans, this is what he claims, didn't actually show up for the show. Probably because you created a show that wasn't for actual Star Wars fans. You created a show for people that don't like Star Wars. But anyways, he went on to reiterate, but it's still a huge gamble, and they just backed our play all the way through in the most extraordinary, and we kept our business clean, and we hit all our deadlines, and we did everything we were supposed to do. So we're kind of a good kid in school. We were up in London during COVID, buttoned up, just making it. I think everybody's really pleased with that. It's been really good. So he made similar comments back in May 2020 to Vanity Fair. This is what he said. The really passionate Star Wars community, all those people have a lot of people in their lives that are Star Wars hesitant or Star Wars averse or Star Wars reluctant, their roommate, their husband, the guy at work, whatever. I mean, I want my wife to be watching this show. She couldn't care less. She's not that interested in it. She hasn't been interested in it for the last 2 years. Oh, that's telling something. His own wife isn't interested in Star Wars for the last 2 years. I wonder why. I wonder what came out in the last 2 years when he was saying this in May 2022. Could it have been Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker? I wonder. But my goal is that she really is like, OMG, I've got to see the next episode without losing anybody. It's really about enhancing what we have. Again, so I talked about this a little bit earlier, but he told Variety that they were actually trying to chase this new audience because they didn't really have an audience. He said, I'm very pleased with what they did. The materials are great. I think I was surprised. I thought the show would go the other way, that we would have this gigantic instantaneous audience that would just be everywhere, but that it would take forever for non-Star Wars people or critics or my cohort of friends to get involved in the show. The opposite happened. We ended up with all this critical praise, all this deep appreciation and understanding from a really surprising number of sources, and we're chasing the audience. So, surprise! You made a show that was for people that don't like Star Wars and called it Star Wars, and people that like Star Wars didn't show up to watch it. Surprise! I mean, you can't make this up, man. These people have to be some of the dumbest people out there. But they just keep crashing and burning, and they clearly don't learn any kind of lessons from the things that they do wrong.